Rugby League is back.
Drum roll, please.
You're a true Warriors fan.
I have no recollection of that hot take.
We don't all have to agree.
It's good to be back.
It's just a really boring team.
Oh, partner.
Start winning some games.
I think there'll be a lot of changes to the team.
I've got them making the 8 for mine.
Let's go. Hello, folks, and welcome back to the Advantage Line, TAB's Rugby League betting podcast. My name is Karl Tiley, joined in studio by my good mate, Paul Mawate. Paul, how was your weekend, mate?
It was pretty good, actually. I enjoyed watching the footy. I love international footy, and I wish we could get a wee bit more of it. Look, I know we'll go into a wee bit more detail a wee bit later on around the games that were played. But there was some very, very good football skills on display this weekend, and I may have got a round of golf as well.
Well done. I got out for 2.
Quiet weekend for you.
Yes, it was. Teddy, how many games of golf did you get over in the weekend?
0, and I'm assuming you just put your 2 under the guise of charity to get away with playing more golf, which has typically been the norm for you, Karl.
Well, it is Movember on Friday, so I will be doing another big push for Movember with some golf involved. Yes, thanks for bringing that up.
I'll tell you what, you are the king of rauters. The king of the rauters.
Don't make me look like a bad person for the good work I'm doing.
If only people know your true motivations.
No, don't you do this to me.
Yeah, not on this cause.
Oh,
Let's not go there. And you heard him there, folks. My defendant, Searle, welcome in.
Yeah, cheers, mate. Call me Ali Katoa, and you're the other Katoa because I just came in to defend you there, mate, and I'm not sure how it will work out for us. But, yeah, cheers for having me on. Fresh off a nice trip to Christchurch. Unfortunately, the Kiwis didn't get the result, but I've got to say that the people of Christchurch got around it and put up their hand massively to host a team down there in the future once the new stadium's built because, yeah, they love their rugby league. They're passionate down there.
I'm very happy that a new stadium's being built because that's the first time I've seen that stadium, and it was not good.
It's just made of scaffolding. All the stands, even the after-match press conference was in a shipping container. It's basically it's a pop-up stadium, but they actually pull it together reasonably well for what it is. But we drove past the new one that's being built, and it already looks impressive. So, yeah, I think they'll have the foundations down there to potentially put in a decent bid in the coming years.
It'll just be good to see some foundations.
Man, Teddy's on fire today, folks.
I tell you what, look out.
Just going back to your reference of you being Ali Katoa. If you're Ali Katoa, I'd like to think I'm Jerome Hughes, and you've got my back.
Okay, yeah, good, because, yeah, didn't look good for Tonga, that combination in week 1, which I'm sure we'll talk about more shortly. But.
Can we get straight into look back at some betting from last week? You've done the sheet this week, Paul?
Yeah.
And we've got a new competition, remember?
Yeah, we've got a new competition.
Okay, he's up to look at this. On time. Got his job done.
Here we go. Yeah, if only everyone was on time. Anyway, we'll move on.
But maybe we can speak into our microphone, Paul, and then we could get going.
Yeah, you're a bit low there, Paulie, mate. We're going to need to hear more from you.
Yeah,
you might have been here earlier, but you didn't fix your mic in time.
Oh, shit. All righty. We'll start with me. 2 bets, 2 losses. Down 100, down 200 for the Pacific Championships.
That's why his mic's quiet. There we go.
Makes perfect sense. What's your crank up now?
Teddy, 3 bets, 3 losses. Down 100 for the week, down 200 for the Pacific Champs. His bets, Cook Islands plus 14.5. Cook Islands to win by 13 or more. And Cook Islands plus 14.5 into the Kangaroos minus 11.5 into the Ferns plus 6.5. No good.
It was a diabolical weekend.
Karl, 2 bets, 2 losses. Cook Islands plus 14.5, Ferns plus 6.5, no good. And first try scorer, Harry Grant. I'm pretty sure Teddy brought up a few stats around Harry Grant when we discussed that bet. No good there. Down 100 for the week, down 200 for the Pacific Champs. Nothing from Searle last week.
Fallen into old habits. Disgusting.
But I had a winner the week before, so I'm happy to just rest on my laurels.
Right, yes, okay. Blake, wow.
This is not what we need.
King Ashford of the Pacific Champs. He is on fire. Had 2 bets, 1 loss. Hammer to score 2 or more tries into the Roos to win by 1-12. And then he had Fiji to win by 13 or more, into the Kangaroos -5.5, into the Jillaroos to win. That was at 380, at $80 on that. He is up $284 for the Pacific Championship season, and he is the only one in the positives.
Hey, first week, mate. First week, I hit hammer first, second, or third. I was all over it.
Yeah, but you lost last week's 100.
There was
I thought I got 200 this week. The carryover policy.
You wanted to put a -100. I didn't put a -100 there, so you're still up 82.50.
Thank you.
Down 18.50.
Okay.
17.50, sorry.
Oh, great. Jerome Hughes has turned on me already. I'm no longer your Ellie Katoa, mate.
That was worse than when Shawn Michaels kicked Marty Jannetty through the glass window. What a turn.
What year of wrestling are we talking?
Shout out to Shawn Michaels.
Early 90s, Paul. So probably a bit late for you.
They were some great years.
Right, let's look at we'll do games recap. And firstly, I just want to apologise to all the punters on behalf of the Advantage Line. We went pretty hard on the Cook Islands Plus, and they got smashed, 56-6. Blake did not. Blake wasn't involved. Yourself, Teddy and I, though, we tried to make a case for the Cook Islands, and it wasn't great.
I'll tell you what, they could be called the Cook Island Jamin Salmons the way they played. It was awful. Absolutely awful. I would put them as my most disliked nation on earth, except they're not even a nation. So very, very upsetting. Very, very upsetting from the Cook Islands. It was dark days. And that plus was gone very, very early. So it was a miserable watch.
They did score the first try.
Oh, I was up and about them. Cook Islands is the greatest nation on earth. Let's get around them. How good's Brad Takarangi? Let's go, Masters boys. Never again.
Takarangi, did you see? I don't know who. He ran out of line and tried to put a shot on someone late, and Gus Gould, I think it was Gus. He's like, I don't know about that play. Come out of the line when you're 40 points down, trying to kill somebody. Not good.
Also, come out of the line when you're 40 points down and you're about 40 yourself, and you're not going to get there.
Quick.
They played like an old team, didn't they? Like a very old and outmatched team.
Minor, you might have got a run. You could have got a run.
I've missed a couple of calls, so I don't know. Yeah, I thought Teddy's perception of the Cook Islands dropped when I was working for him, but they've just got the new level, Teddy.
That really did help shape where I'm at right now, Paul. I just forgotten about it.
For Fiji, Michael Jennings scored a hat-trick. And Michael Jennings has become the only player to score a hat-trick for 3 different international teams.
How nuts is that?
Which is wild. So, little game here. Do you guys know? So, obviously, 3 tries for Fiji against Cook Islands. Do you know who he scored his 3 tries against for Australia? Bonus point for the year.
Oh, Christ.
I remember Australia was against France, and I'm pretty sure it was a World Cup. So I'm going to say 2008.
Close. He didn't make the 2008 World Cup squad.
Mm-hmm.
It was 2009.
4 nations.
And he said he wanted to make the next World Cup squad and put his best foot forward. And he said something along the lines of, "I've done my part scoring the tries." Australia won 42-4.
But fun fact, France covered the 38.5 that day.
Only you would know
True
that.
stories.
Only you would know that.
Me and our former Advantage Line colleague Matt Fisk were very heavy on France at the plus that day, and we toasted a glass of red wine when they snuck in the cover.
That is wild.
Oh,
What about his 3 tries for Tonga?
don't remember the line of that game, so I'm not sure.
Anyone want to have a guess?
Tonga would have been
It was 2017.
2007. That would have been a World Cup.
Yeah, that was a World Cup.
I'm going to guess maybe a minnow somewhere.
It was
maybe
the World Cup played here, wasn't it? Here in Australia, I think.
Like someone like Ireland or
So Tonga had a great World Cup that year, didn't they? Because they beat New Zealand, is that right? That World Cup.
Cook
New Zealand
Islands or someone like that.
I'm going to say New Zealand.
New Zealand didn't make it to the. We got knocked out in the quarterfinals by Fiji, I think.
yeah, 4-2.
That's right. 4-2.
Yeah.
That's right.
Is it a minnow?
It is a minnow. You're close. Ireland.
USA?
No,
Scotland.
Scotland, 50-4. So his hat trick of hat tricks have spanned 15 years in international rugby. That's pretty rugby league. Sorry, Teddy.
And
Rugby
he loves beating up on minnows, basically.
basically.
Michael Jennings likes to pick on my ancestors because on my mum's side, we go all the way back to Scotland. So he scored 3 against Scotland, 3 against Cook Islands. It's like he's got something against me.
Well, I've never had more respect for Michael Jennings. Let me tell you that. Because I know you also have a penchant for red wine as well, Paul. So that'll tip in the France for you there as well.
Next game, Kiwi Ferns 0, Jillaroos 14. I'll be honest, didn't watch the full game. Rewatched the highlights last night. Not a lot of highlights from the Kiwi Ferns. It's just all Jillaroos attacking highlights. Teddy, I know you would have watched this. Give us your take, please.
Yeah, well, I show full respect for women, Carl, so I certainly did watch it.
Don't do this.
They were on top of it, the Kiwi Ferns. They were dominating field position. They were out enthusing Australia for the first 20 minutes. Just really left the touch to be able to get over, and it cost them in the end. Like 14-0 was probably a fair reflection of the difference because Australia really did dominate from the second half onwards. But I wouldn't lose a lot of hope by the Kiwi fans. I thought the pack played really, really well. I thought Brianna Clark was absolutely outstanding. I thought she was close to the best on the field for both teams. I thought the outside backs tried particularly hard as well. They just weren't getting a lot of clean ball. The halves are going to be the issue. Broughton played well, but they need a genuine 7 to play there. And I thought they lacked it last week. So I know Ricky Henry's made changes this week against the Orchids, and we'll talk about that later on. But the halves kind of similar. And what he's going to do going forward, I'm not sure because I don't really see a genuine half. If you want to move like an Appy Nichols into the halves or try an Abigail Roach there as well, but the lack of a genuine 7 hurts them. But Jillaroos just too classy in the end. Like the Kiwi Ferns just dug deep and gave everything they had, but Penatoni and Upton opened the game up with 2 tries, and Upton's just unstoppable with a team like that going forward. So. I don't know the Jillaroos will be that happy with the result. I thought they left a lot of points on the board. They had a lot of field position, dropped a lot of ball, but got there in the end. And for punters, covered in the end.
Searle, you're at, as you said, you're in Christchurch. Did you see this game?
Yeah, I did. It was awesome. The crowd was so into it. Everyone showed up early. People were queuing up at the gates. And I thought the Ferns gave a good account for themselves. Just so many errors on good ball. We didn't get that many attacking opportunities. And when we did, we just dished up errors on 3rd or 4th tackle, which really hurt us. I thought we missed Racing McGregor as well. Just her playmaking ability there in the halves. But yeah, still plenty of positives to take away from this. The fact it was our first hit out. There's certainly some combinations that need a bit of time together, but I thought we defended our own line in that first half in particular really well. That Aussie side has plenty of attacking weapons, so yeah, it was by far from a disgraceful performance, that's for sure.
Your thoughts, Paul?
Yeah, we did. We lacked creativity in the halves, and I agree with Searle. McGregor makes a big difference to the dynamics of that team. Broughton, for mine, looks better suited as a centre. I think she's got the strength and the speed, and with a wee bit more space out wider slightly, I think she'd go really, really well there. I just think the difference with Briginshaw Aiken against Broughton King, there was just a wee bit too much of a class difference, I thought, and experience, to be fair. Tyler King's still very young in her rugby league career. You can see that Hufanga. I can see her becoming a second row, an edge forward. She's very, very good. They did tire slightly in the second half, the Kiwi Ferns, and that line speed just wasn't there like it was in the first half. And when you give the Gillaroos that much space, then you're going to see the likes of Penatani and Isabel Kelly and Julia Robinson start cutting things up. So they were right in it. They weren't that far away, I don't think. But, yes, they do need a wee bit of creativity in the halves and maybe a couple of tweaks in the back line. But, yeah, I thought the forward pack was very, very good.
I don't disagree with brought into the centres, but the problem's going to be the same as with Funga on the weekend. They're just not getting enough ball and not getting enough early ball as well. So if you put her out to the centres, it's probably going to be the same issue. And that's where, Searle brought it up. Not having racing in McGregor, she's far from probably the player she was a couple of years ago, but she's an organiser and she gets people in the right position. And you saw it so often, like Paul Leanta Fuga. She got so much bad ball. Whenever she got ball, she was getting it behind her. It was thrown over her head, all that stuff. So just you'd love to see Racing come back for it, but unfortunately unavailable this series.
All right, Kiwis 10, Kangaroos 22. Felt like similar to what we said about the Tonga game, where it was a lot tighter than the score suggests. I mean, 12 points is reasonably close, but couple of try right on half time for the Kangaroos, and Kiwis just couldn't match them. Searle, we'll go to you first, live on ground.
Yeah, it was an interesting one for me. If you look at all the stats, the majority of them, the main ones, the Kiwis kind of dominated those. 86% completion rate as well. You can't say it was unforced errors or things like that. I just thought our red zone attack at times lacked a little bit of creativity. SJ was great, but everything was getting played through him. Our forwards were massive, but we just lacked a bit of the balance in terms of that playmaking. You mentioned before Aussie's tries. Like one was just a straight miss from Matty Timoko on Tom Trebojevic, and then a draw and pass, and in goes Lomax in the corner. There was one where Keanu Keeney was defending up in the line, and I don't know why teams keep doing this. Fullbacks up in the line early on in tackle counts, like Lindsay Collins just picked that out and went straight through him. So there's a couple just little moments there that really cost us. For the majority of that game, though, we were really in it, and there were plenty of positives to take from that one as well. So I mentioned Keanu Keeney there in a negative, but geez, he was outstanding too. I've heard a lot of people call for Chance to move into the centres and Cody Nikarima to come in to give us a bit more attacking flair in the halves. And while that would help our attack, when you look at the amount of work Chance got through defensively, I think he made 32 tackles, and I'm not sure Cody would be able to put in a performance like that defensively as well. So there's pros and cons on both sides of things, but I thought for our first hit out, we looked pretty sharp, and I think now we have the opportunity to potentially play 3 games straight and really peak for that final. If we can get up over Tonga this week, then I like our chances over in Aussie. And I saw the Aussie lads out on the weekend too. 12 grand they dropped on a bar tab, so perhaps there's a few hangovers there and we could catch them a little bit dusty still come the final.
How much they spend on you, Searle?
Nah, unfortunately none, but they were getting through the trays of cans, mate. The Haiketsus were flowing. It wasn't beer either, and I'm sure as a traditionalist, Teddy won't like that as an omen either. The lads have gone soft, Teddy, mate. They're drinking RTDs.
Very, very disappointing. As an Australian, seeing Tom Trebojevic at the bar, he's turning around, he's got a whole heap of stuff in beer. Very un-Australian. And Mal Meninga should almost be forced to resign because of the culture he's set at the team. You were heavy on New Zealand. I tend to agree with everything Searle said there. I would be getting rid of Chance. I'd be Chance to the centres, Hiku out of the team. I thought Hiku was poor. I thought both the centres were poor, actually. I thought they really let New Zealand down. Tomoko and Hiku. Other than that, I thought the team was really, really good. I think Chance is a great player. I just think Chance is just a lack of creativity there. It all went to Sean Johnson, and on last tackles, straight to zero on Sean Johnson. There was no other option there. So I thought that really hurt New Zealand. From an Australian point of view, I'd be getting pretty concerned now if I was Mel. I thought that's 2 games on the trot. Dylan Edwards has been poor at fullback. I know Zach Lomax, scored some tries, finished off. His miss on Will Warwick was one of the most embarrassing things I've seen on a football field. That was
Didn't get
terrific.
close.
What a beautiful piece of football.
At least he kicked the goal at the end to cover the minus 11.5 because Zach Lomax was right in the gun there after missing the kick just prior as well. Lindsay Collins might be one of the most underrated props in Test history. I absolutely love what Lindsay Collins does. At rep football, he just goes hard, and I'm all about Lindsay Collins. I know that's how too many Roosters. Talk about embarrassing. Angus Crichton's drop was absolutely humiliating and should never play Test football again after that. That was just dive.
It wasn't even on the hand where he's missing a finger either. That was his good hand. So he can't blame that.
He can't blame it. He's got no excuse for anything. It was absolutely disgraceful. Biggest concern for me, though, is the Deed and Moses half combination. That's 2 games in a row. I thought we would see some improvement. We would see some improvement with a game under their belt. I don't think we saw any improvement. I just don't think they work together. I think they're 2 running halves. I think Dearden probably lacks the kicking game to really be a threat there. I think Moses is severely underdone based on how little he played at the end of the year. So I'm not really sure why he's there right now. And I have a real issue with rep teams not just picking the best available, like planning for the future and stuff like that. You're not a club. You're not planning for the future. Just play the best available players. And Daly Sheridan should be that team. So hardly done by. But Australia win. Australia gets a cover result, which was helpful to some punters who were down on the backsides following, I think, 3 straight defeats in some international rugby leagues. So it was nice to see.
You both mentioned Chance. Paul, keen for your take, but he looked like you say, Searle, he got through 30 odd tackles, and he just looked gassed at the end of it. Like he's not normally making that many tackles at fullback, and he just looked tired. And Australia pounced on that a couple of times, Paul.
They did. I agree with Teddy. I think he should be moved into the centres. Obviously, that hasn't happened. But I think for the shape of this team, he's better suited in the centres. And Nikorima coming into the halves with Sean Johnson. It was interesting. Nikorima, I think, only played 10 minutes. And he made the most of those 10 minutes. I thought we looked a wee bit more dynamic when he came onto the field, but by then it was just a wee bit too late. So
I thought we were going to have a David Kittle situation with him there and just forgot Jason Tormuella like that Cody Nikorima was on the bench because I thought, what international incident, which Pacific nation are we going to inspire to do well because of one forgotten player on the bench? But came on, like you said, he played well.
But yeah, the highlight for me was that Will Warbrick try. I haven't seen a dance move like that since Torval and Dean in the 1994 Olympics in Bolero. That was just...
You obviously haven't seen Paul Mawadi at Dirty Little Secret at 3 in the morning.
Oh, gee, that was 20 years ago, Teddy.
20 minutes ago.
Oh, fair enough.
All right, did anyone watch the Samoa England game? I did not.
Bits of.
Yeah, saw bits of. Samoa were... I thought it's fairly weak in Samoa side, but England, Herbie Farnworth was playing like peak Mal Meninga. Like, he was busting tackles for fun. He's setting up tries. Like, this is a good England team. Like, England are getting closer to Australia, and New Zealand as the better team. Now, it's good to see. It's going to be good for international rugby league. And the Kangaroos are coming up next year, which is exciting. And it's good to see this new crop of English players. And a lot of the NRL players, like Victor Radley scored a try. Dom Young was good as well. So, combined with the kind of your Harry Smith, who's better than Nathan Cleary, according to the Wigan CEO. was great to see.
Good friend of yours, Teddy.
We are two men on an island. A very, very small
island of floating garbage.
All right, we'll talk about Will Warbrick and his little dance move. So I've got a little blind ranking for us, or for you guys. We're going to blind rank some Kiwis wingers.
Can we have an era of Kiwis wingers?
They've grown. An era?
Are they all over the place?
Yeah,
Good.
they are.
Good.
I'd say a bit more recency bias, but they do go back a wee
It's like
way.
the 30s or 40s.
No,
Not quite.
please. All right. First man up. The scariest man to ever do the haka, Jason Nightingale.
Oh, I love Jason Nightingale too. Highly reliable.
Searle?
4.
4.
Manu Vetuve.
Kept that joke to myself. One. 1.
2.
2.
Kristen Inu.
5. And if there was a 10, it would be 10. If there was 100, it would be 100.
Bulldog's great.
One of the worst players I've ever had the misfortune of watching.
Oh, mate. He was huge for us in our grand final run. I'll go 5 though.
Shout out to Blake.
5.
You just copying Searle?
Oh, well, let me go before him for the last 2 then.
Francis Smelly.
Oh,
Almost put him as an answer on the grid this week. I'll go 4.
Ooh.
I'm going to go 3 because I hope that you're holding on to the one winger that I want.
yeah. I've got 3 too because I'm not putting him 1, so we'll see.
I did use him in the grid this week, Teddy.
Good.
I hope Sean Hoppy's there somewhere.
Sean Hoppy's not. I did look at Sean Hoppy.
Oh,
I love Sean Hoppy, one of the greats.
favourite winger.
I've got the stray dog, Daryl Halligan.
I wish I'd left number 1. Oh, no.
Number 1.
Oh,
Happy days. Happy days.
I thought I'd nailed it. I was wrong. Sorry, Chuck. I'm naming you 3, but you're number 1 in my heart. I would call him the greatest living New Zealander. And probably the greatest dead one as well.
Are you aware that Chuck played rugby union, Teddy?
I am aware. I don't have no idea who or where for, but these were in the days when it was all amateur and no one really cared.
Okay.
There's always a caveat when it counts.
I reckon there's a chink.
Also,
in the
he never went back either. That's always the big thing.
All right, let's see if we can get Daryl Halligan on the pod. And
Wow, the greatest New Zealander. Surely he comes on the pod after hearing that.
the greatest New Zealander, but he can't make Teddy's top 2 and Kiwis wingers.
Well, it turns out I'm not very good at
Jason
blind.
Nightingale.
Turns out I'm not very good at blind ranking. So how Jason Nightingale's ahead of him is a disgrace.
All right, you mentioned the grid. Let's go straight into it. Pause the pod. Go find the grid for October 29. Come back and compare your scores. Across the top, we've got scored 500 plus career points, has played for the Tigers, and has scored 4 or more tries in a game. Down the left, has played for the Eels, has played in the 2020s, and has played for the Wars. Teddy, we'll start with you. Top row, please.
Eels, 500 points in a career. Wizard, 1.65. Jason Taylor. Eels, Tigers. Former colleague of mine, Corey Pearson, 2.17. And 4 tries in the game. Eels struggled here. Semi-Rad Radra, 10.29.
For the punters out there, if you have paused the pod and you've come back, I can tell you've already lost.
Yeah.
It is on fire. Searle.
Bloke's a freak. Parramatta scored 500 plus points. Chris Sandow, 4.85. Tigers, Parramatta, Stefano Utakamanu, 2.91. And 4 plus tries in a game from Para. Matt Pedersen, 5.69.
Oh, great. Yeah. Sideshow Bob.
Sideshow, the great.
Michael Gordon, 9.88. Joe Offengawe, 7.29. Micah Sivo, 14.99.
And Paulie's come fourth. Well done, Paulie.
Just hold on.
Oh, wow.
Oh, wow. Hey.
500 plus career points. Eels, Clint Gutherson, 8.96. I'm ahead of Paul. Tiger Eel, Joel Reddy, 3.52.
Nice.
Still ahead of Paul. 4 plus tries in a game, Eels. Jamie Lyon, 27.13.
Oh, that's brutal.
Oh, I didn't even think of him. I
You would have been better off with a Hayne or something. I reckon that would have scored lower.
I had Hayne, Radradra, and Micah Sivo all come to mind. I thought, no, Lyon was long enough that apparently not.
I didn't even think of Lyon. I was just tossing up between Radradra and Sebo, thinking, well, that would be the 27.
That was, tough. So I'd say I'm behind Paul at this point. Teddy, second row.
500 points in career, played in 2020s. Ruben Garrick, Brain, 1.59. Tigers, played in 2020s. Wizards, 0.02. Alex Lobb. And scored 4 tries in the game, played in 2020. Edric Lee, 2.99.
My 500 plus played in the 2020s. The Prince of Penrose, Shawnee Johnson, 3.38. Tigers played in the 2020s. Solomon Alai Marlow, who's going back to rugby, one of Teddy's favourites, at 0.06 for a brain. And then the 4 plus tries, I also had Edric Lee for 2.99.
I've beaten Teddy on this line. I'm so proud of myself. Ruben Garrick, brain, 1.59.
How the hell do we both call it Ruben Garrick?
Carl's just checking that he's actually done the grid. I saw that little look across.
Like, I don't believe this for a second.
Solomon Alai Marlow, 0.06 brain. Matt Ikuvalu, Wizard, 0.84.
Huge!
The shoe sale.
This is the greatest performance from a Cook Islander in at least the last week.
I thought I would catch Paul on this line, but I am 0.01 behind him even more. Ruben Garrick, brain, 1.59.
How random is that?
Latu Whanu, 0.07 brain.
Oh.
Matt Ikavalu, 0.84 wizard.
Nice.
Can't believe I lost ground to Paul on that line.
I'm so proud of myself.
Jeez, I could be in trouble here then. I've gone too early.
You don't have a 27 to your name there.
Yeah, true. There we go. That's almost my total, so we're all right.
Shit. Paul, not Paul. Teddy, your last row, please.
I might be in trouble here. 500 points in a career. Warriors, Michael Witt, 3.58. Tigers, Warriors, an old favourite of mine, Michael Crockett, Wizards, 0.64. And scored 4 tries in the game. I hate to know what Francis Melly got here, but I typed it in and then thought, no, I'm going to go Dean and Kemp, 5.15.
Geez, yeah, you're definitely not in trouble, that's for sure, because mine's much worse than that. I also had Michael Witt for 3.58. Tigers, Warriors, I knew it was going to score high, but I just had to do it. Blake Ashford at 6.2. And then 4 plus tries in a game for the Warriors, David Fusatua, 7.04.
Ooh.
The Foot.
The foot.
Ivan Cleary, Wizard, 2.57. Tui Lolo here, Brain, 2.42.
Oh, Tui.
Nigel Vangana, 10.02.
It wouldn't be agreed without you putting Nigel Vangana in there, Paul.
Well, I was thinking of someone like a Francis Melly. I just thought he'd be way higher.
Well, I think we're about to find out.
Who do you have your point scorer?
Ivan Cleary.
Two. I have Michael Witt, 3.58. Villa the Gorilla. Richard Villasanti, 2.46 brain. And Francis Melly. What was it?
Richard Villasanti. Talk about maybe the person who's never getting invited back to a kangaroo reunion. Richard Villasanti.
Francis Melly, 3.99.
Oh, Francis Melly.
I'm gutted.
We could be close here, Paul. No, we're not. All right, totals.
28.2.
I just deleted my screenshot, but it was 36.7.
49.7.
52.1.
Oh, Paulie! He's filled the drum. Huge.
Thank you, Jamie Lyon.
Now Carl holds the same view of Jamie Lyon as all of New South Wales. All of New South Wales does.
Did Searle go, another fourth place at the beginning of this? When we did the top line, he's done and Kingston Town can't win.
Well, most punters out there have had the box trifecta 1, 2, 3, and Austin Paul for 4 for the first 4, and have done their cash. Huge divvy.
Sorry, punters. Let you down. Alrighty, let's have a look at the games this weekend. How do we want to do it? Because we've only got odds. This is recorded on Wednesday. We've only got odds available for the 2 Pacific Championship games and the men's game, and the England Samoa game, which is up twice.
There are odds available, which will probably be indicative of where Tab will go up if you want to discuss those.
You lead us off, Teddy. Where do you want to start?
Let's try and do it in chronological order. Maybe I don't think there's much to be said about the Samoa Fiji women's game to kick off at Mount Smart. I think Samoa far too strong. There's 14.5 is the line that's kind of widely available. These teams met last year. Samoa won by 14. I'd say the gap's bigger with Avani and Politi playing. For Samoa, I thought Fiji were pretty poor. They relied on Vitalina and Curries, who busted 12 tackles and scored a hat-trick. Not sure she's going to get that kind of run against Samoa very quickly. So Samoa minus 14.5 for me is a good bet. I'll be looking, if you want to look at some value, the odds aren't up yet for this. I'll be looking for Eva McEwen to score a try off the bench. She played 2 NRLW matches, scored a try against the Roosters in the semi-final off the bench. And then in very limited minutes, broke 12 tackles in her clash against Tonga 2 weeks ago. So I think a bit of value there.
Cool.
Would you like me to get to this? Would you like me to just hurry up and get to the second part of the doubleheader?
I'm sorry. I wasn't sure if you'd finished or not.
That's a bloke who just zoned out. He's not big on Samoa Fiji.
He's still thinking back, how did I finish 4th in the grid?
The lack of respect shown to the women's rugby league, Carl.
I genuinely thought you were taking a breath. I'm sorry. There was an awkward pause.
One, I don't take breaths. I just keep rolling. You know that. Well, the second part of that doubleheader is going to be a classic. I assume you'll be out there, Searle.
Yeah, for sure.
Kiwis Tonga. We talked a lot about the Kiwis earlier on. I think Tonga might be a bet here. I might be on my Pat Lyon here. I'm not certainly not going with the confidence I have the last couple of weeks around some of the bets, but talked about New Zealand a lot. I think Leo Thompson's a positive in for Jordan Ricky. I thought Tonga, though, were very, very good. I know they didn't score any points. And again, probably the same issue as New Zealand, worry around the creativity in the halves. I thought Isaiah Katoa was poor, but I thought Tuiloa played really, really well against Australia. 18-0. They defended really well, and they had every decision go against them, I thought. There were about 3 or 4 overturned tries. There was just a lot went against them. I think Tonga have a clear advantage in the forwards. Like, not a small advantage. I think they've got a massive advantage in the forwards, particularly on the edges. I think when you're going to get... If Hiku and Timoko defend like they did last week, I think Olakau'atu and Katoa are going to have an absolute field day. These teams have met 7 times, 6 times. New Zealand have won. Tonga did roll the Kiwis in 2017. So that might have been mid-year. Not sure when that was. Or was it the World Cup?
I think it was the World Cup.
World Cup. Yeah, I thought it was at the World Cup. I thought you said before that they didn't play in the World Cup. But, and the three meetings at Mount Smart, New Zealand won by 20 plus. So I'm a little bit concerned of falling into the trap I fell in with Samoa last week of taking one of the Pacific nations to kind of run a big nation close at a pretty small line. But I like this Tonga team. I like it a lot. And I'll be backing the plus and backing, especially if it gets out to 6 or beyond. And I'll be all over Olakawatu to score a try. I think Olakawatu is a great bet to score.
28-22 in the pool play, the Rugby World Cup. Rugby League World Cup 2017.
Dark days for New Zealand at World Cup.
David Fusitua scored a hat-trick. Roger Tuivasa-Sheck scored 2 for New Zealand. That was dark days for New Zealand Rugby League. And I've got the jersey at home, and I see it every time, and I shake my head every time. Someone gave it to me for a birthday present.
Ouch.
Not and birthday was after the fact too, so thanks, guys.
Guessing they got it at the discount shop, because it would have been selling full price after that World Cup.
Family too, like really just, yeah.
Pick your friends' card, can't pick your family.
Wife's family, so maybe that says more about how they feel about me than anything else.
Oh, let's move on.
Yeah. Let's move on.
Getting some dark areas here, Carl.
Shout out to the family. Love you guys. Searle, you'll be at the game.
Yep.
Before you give us your views on this game, what is the Christchurch crowd like versus the Mount Smart faithful?
The Christchurch crowd were pretty vocal. I've got to say, when the teams were named on the big screen before the game, Sean Johnson, biggest response. Second, Jordan Ricky, which perhaps gives you an indication as to how many young female supporters had showed out for that game. He is a hometown lad, so he got plenty of cheers. But, geez, every time he got up to warm up, the screams from the crowd were massive. We won't get that this week because Jordan Ricky won't be warming up. But, yeah, the Christchurch crowd was into it. For me, it's always a good indication when they stop selling alcohol just after half-time because they sold out. That's how you know that there's a true blue rugby league crowd that's shown up for this one, and that's exactly what happened in this game. Yeah, it was all go. They were into it for sure. And when Maratini Okore got rid of Mitch Barnett, the place just erupted.
How good was that too? We overlooked that, but Okore won.
I reckon Andrew Webster was just sitting at home being like, what are you doing, lads? There's literally 16 or 15 guys in this Kiwis team that don't play for the Warriors that Barnett could try and put a shot on, but he picked his one Warriors teammate, which, yeah, tough scenes. But I'm expecting a big crowd at Mount Smart. Hopefully it sells out, surely. SJ's last chance at a second last trot out onto Mount Smart as well, so surely everyone shows up for that.
Big red wave.
Big time.
Yeah.
Be plenty of flags in Auckland this week, I'd imagine.
Yeah, huge. The parades are going to be popping off.
Thoughts on the game?
See, I reckon our full packs pretty much cross each other out, to be honest. And I think that both teams on attack are going to have a very similar type of game plan. I think Aussie really set the blueprint for us to go hard at their edges. Both halves aren't amazing defensive-wise. And I think in particular, if you can go at Katoa and Alamoti on that side, which is SJ's dominant ball-playing side as well, I think the Kangaroos showed you can get results. Those two together missed 10 tackles. And I think Katoa as well was put under so much fatigue defensively. He made over 30 tackles. That resulted in his 3 kicks going dead, his 2 kickoffs going out on the full. And that kind of killed their playmaking at the spot. So I think if we can go at their edges hard on attack, I reckon we'll get some good results. Aussie got held up or dropped the ball over the line 2 or 3 times as well. So while Tonga were really good, particularly through the middle, I reckon there's some weaknesses there on the edges that we can get at. And if you can fatigue young Katoa, then they kind of lose a lot of their playmaking stroke.
Looks like there's going to be plenty of sun in Auckland this week, Paul. We're looking at dry weather footy. What are your thoughts?
Look, I think you just mentioned a stat where the Tongans haven't really produced the goods at Mount Smart Stadium. Well, there's a couple of players in red who won't mind the green grass of Mount Smart. Adam Whanua-Blake has enjoyed some very, very good times at Mount Smart, as has Eliesa Katoa. So I agree. I think the forward packs almost cancel each other out. And I do like the fact that Stacey has thrown Leo Thompson onto the bench there. It looks like he's going to fight fire with fire. I can't wait to see the battle between those two forward packs. once again, it'll be in the back line, I think, where this is decided. And I'm leaning slightly towards Tonga here, and I do like the fact that they're getting 6.5. I give them a chance. I think they'll be right up for this game. There will be a whole heap of support for them there too. If they get up early, they'll be very, very hard to peg back. So, yeah, I do like the look of the Tongan team.
It's very unpatriotic of you, Paul.
Oh, sorry, we're talking punting. Oh, sorry,
I'm not sure. When I was in New Zealand, I saw more support for Tonga and Samoa when they played there than for New Zealand.
Yeah.
I'm sure Searle has already seen the red flags on hundreds of vehicles as you drive around the wider Auckland area, and they'll be like that all week lead up to this game.
I'm guessing horn honkings through the roof in Auckland right now as well.
There's a place in Northcote that's painted their roof with the Tongan flag colours, mate. They are that into it, and they've got the flags out the front. It's pretty epic, like the amount of support that they get, and it's going to be crazy scenes, and that'll definitely give them an advantage because it will be a home game for Tonga pretty much. But I reckon the Kiwi fans will step up too. We're not as vocal, but I reckon if the team gets off to a good start, they'll hear our support.
I think you guys are bang on. Forward packs cancel each other out, but I do want to say what Teddy said. If our centres do defend like they did in the game last week, there's a little bit of a question mark there for me too.
Yeah, but are Alamotti and Moses Sully defensive experts? Hardly. Like Alamotti missed 5 or 6 tackles, and it was up against the hammer, which is really hard. But there's opportunities to attack there as well.
Yep. Was it the last time Tonga played at Mount Smart when there was absolute chaos in the crowd and chairs flying around? And
yeah, there was a few scraps. Unfortunately, the corporate boxes got sold to a couple cash customers. We'll leave it at that. But it didn't end very well.
Oh, outstanding. I was always waiting for the third in the trilogy of Once for Warriors. So.
Don't. Right. Do you know what? NRL.com's website is shocking in terms of what games have been played on what days.
Well, they're the 2 Saturday games, and we go to Port Moresby on Sunday for the Orchids and Kiwi Ferns to kick off.
Thank you.
Ricky Henry's made some changes here, resting. I think it's a bit rich. I know they're only playing PNG, but resting Anessa Biddle, resting Towner Davison, and resting Appy Nichols. Not sure you want to be resting before you got a final as well. I think you just be better off playing your best team and trying to form some combinations. I think the line in this game is absurd. 57.5 is out there. Last time New Zealand beat a team by more than 52 was back in 2017. And these teams been in 2017, it was 38-0. I reckon I can make a case that the Australia's PM13 was at least the equal of the New Zealand team. And they only won 50-0 a few weeks ago. The 84-0 was very much, that game was very much against PNG in terms of they were on a 5-day backup from that PM13 game. It was in Brisbane, and they had some injuries. I think this game's got 44-0 written all over it, 50-0. 57.5 seems way too big for me. I'll be backing the plus with a good deal of confidence here. And in terms of the try scorers, I'll be having a little nibble up there to Funga 3+ tries. She had a pretty quiet year, but she's all speed, and the Australian wingers combined for 11 tries when they played them. So I think the way to beat this PNG team is to go around them. You don't need to go through them. And when Australia scored 17 tries that game, not a single forward scored one. So if the Kiwis are smart, they'll go wide. So I think that sets up well for tomorrow.
How many tries do you reckon you could score?
It's the Orchids. None. I respect them. They're a tough team. Elsie Albert scares me.
Fair.
She hits hard.
Yeah. And the
Final game?
Cook Islands.
Well, let me say this. The Kumals are my favourite team in World Rugby League, and the Cook Islands are my least favourite.
$1.12, $6.
This line is probably half of what it should be. This line should be around 40. How it's only 19 and a half.
It's 18 and a half for us.
18 and a half. It's just like, just get on that. We saw the Cook Islands last week. Two things really struck me about Cook Islands' performance. There's a lack of effort and there was a lack of fitness. And I thought that was a real concern across the field. Like, you know, you had 8 players doing their real experience in there and it didn't look like it. It really didn't look like it. So, PNG are a good team. They're a good team on the up. Like, the Hunters situation has really kind of pushed them. But they had a good national setup, like that, especially with Labert and Lamb being kind of pretty secure in the halves. I know they're missing Edwin Apape. You can make a case he's one of the best hookers in the world, and certainly PNG's best player. Didn't matter against Fiji. That 22-10 result flattered Fiji. Like that, PNG dominated them. If Sylvester Namo runs like he did last week, if Jack DeBellin runs like he did last week, Robert Darby, Nelly McDonald, they're going to put on 60 this week. They've played the Cook Islands 7 times, never lost. 3 times they've played them in Port Moresby. They've won by 20 plus every time. I think this is absolute one-way traffic, and I reckon one of the better bets you'll have is due Rimbu to score a try. I don't think there's any odds up at tab just yet, but there's around $3 around the place at the moment, so I'd expect somewhere around that. Scored 16 tries in 23 games in Queensland Cup this year. He's a try-scoring hooker. Scored last week. He's just an absolute jackrabbit. He's a great player. I'm backing him to score a try. I think he's a really good bet. And, Robert Derby is probably would have played in a role last year if he wasn't out with a knee injury to start the season. He's very much in the mix to take Kyle Felt's spot next year. He's a very, very good player. So I'll be working around him 2-3 tries because he was wonderful last week. I think he got 1, probably could have got 2 or 3. So going really well. PNG minus and Rimbu and Derby working on those 2 tries.
Derby was everywhere last week. Searle, your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, I think PNG will be way too good, and much like Teddy, I was shocked at this line. I reckon they do it comfortably. They're a much better side, fueled by that passionate crowd too. And it was interesting. I was talking to the Kiwi Ferns media manager. They were talking about how they're going over, obviously, to PNG. They're staying in like this compound 5-star resort, but of course, security is always the big concern because the fans just froth it, that they want to be around them. So, yeah, I think they'll be fizzing to have rugby league on their home soil like they always are. And I reckon they pants them yet again.
Fun fact here as well. This is the battle between the only 2 nations on earth where rugby league is the national sport. So, exciting.
You give your cookies a chance, Paul?
No.
Very unpatriotic today.
Oh, you just threw your far now under the bus a few minutes ago. I'm just talking punting.
I've never been more confident now in a Kiwis 13 plus and a Cook Island upset all of a sudden. Alex Glenn's going to come in and score 14 tries.
No, I love the Kumals here, and they will feature prominently in my punting. The line's not big enough.
All right. He's a man of few words. Should we get to some punting?
Well, we're running out of time.
We are. I'll just check. I asked Blake to send some.
I've got them for you if you want.
Oh, yeah. Oh. No, I've got them here too.
They're good bets, unfortunately.
He is on fire, and so we'll start with Blake. He's got 2 $50 multis. PNG 13 plus, Kiwis 1-12, and Toa Samoa plus 19.5. $50 on at $6.45.
That's juicy return.
That is. He must. Yeah. Okay. And an anytime try scorer multi. Isako, Derby, and Hufunga. $50 on. No odds yet, but that will be nice.
Who are the try scorers?
Isako, Derby, and Hufunga.
Nice.
Teddy, your $100. Where's it going?
3 bets. We're going to have $60 on exact winning margin PNG 30 plus. $3.10. We are going to have same game multi odds again for the PNG Cook Islands game. We're going to have Judah Rimbu to score, Robert Derby to score, Elijah Roltina to score. So I think that'll probably work out around the $8 mark, but we'll get some exact odds soon. And a $20 stumps. I need to pull back Blake and Searle soon. We're going to have Tonga plus 6.5, Samoa minus 14.5, PNG minus 19.5, and Papua New Guinea plus 57.5.
And just to clarify, that was Samoa in the women's game. I saw Karl shoot up there because he was thinking you've got Samoa to 13 plus England overseas.
Samoa in the women's game.
Thank you for clarifying.
And PNG in the women's game. And Tonga in the men's game and PNG in the men's game.
What's the line on the PNG Orchids?
Plus 57.5.
Okay, thank you.
But I'm happy to take whatever when tab opens, what they call it.
Yep.
Where are you going, Paul?
One bet for me, the whole 100 on, a 3-leg multi. Here we go. Listen up, punters. Tonga plus 6.5. Papua New Guinea, Emals minus 18.5. Papua New Guinea, Orchids plus the points when they come out. That'll come out at around $6.85, the whole 100 on. I go straight to the top of the table.
Well, your multi's going to fall over the first leg.
Yep.
And so I will jump to the top of the table with my one bet 2-leg multi. Under 44.5 points in the Kiwis Tonga game into Papua New Guinea minus 24.5. $4.65, all 100 on.
Yeah, that's a great bet, Carl. I love that. That's a great bet.
Thank you. I'm not sure if you're serious, but I'll say thank you.
Yeah, this is weird. You two being nice to each other. What's the go there?
I know, I'm a bit lost. I'm a bit
And on there, there's a great way to finish the pod.
Don't worry, there's a 2017 Kiwis rugby league jersey heading your way.
Thanks. Signed by Nick Tedeschi. We got the promos.
Yeah, once again, the Oval Ball Mega Multi. And, of course, we've got a 3 or more leg same game multi bonus cashback if one leg fails on the Kiwis Tonga test this Saturday. 1 per game, up to $50. Head to the promotions page. In fact, you should always head to the promotions page at tab.co.nz because the promotions team are always coming up with crazy ideas and they'll flick those promos up at the last sort of minute. So always check there to find out what's going on. And if you do have a bet responsibly, R18.
You hear that, Teddy? Bet responsibly.
I always do. Huh? Always bet within my means and bet responsibly. I've only gone on 7 NBA multis during this podcast.
That won't make the podcast.
I shouldn't have said anything. I should have just cut it. Should have been game over.
That's on you. That's on you, Carl.
Yeah. Poor hosting. Teddy, thank you very much for joining us. Getting up early again this morning. Appreciate it.
It was a pleasure to join you 15 minutes early. And for the allotted time.
You enjoy your cream corn toasted sandwich, Teddy.
Hang on, before we go.
Oh, here we go.
There we go.
This is going to tip us over the hour mark. We went to the lunchroom, Teddy, and Paul and I were in the lunchroom, and we put it to the crowd. Cream corn toasties, unanimously, very, very good.
But you asking New Zealanders? I'm sorry, Carl. That doesn't validate anything.
Also,
I've been to Pack and Save. I've seen what's available over there. This is not good. The cost of real food in New Zealand is very expensive. I can see why cream corn's very popular.
Real food.
Yeah, 3 cans for $2, mate.
Exactly. 4 slices of salami. 4 slices of salami will cost you the better part of an arm and a leg.
The other thing that came up, and this is, I want everyone's take on this. One of the lovely ladies that work here had a curry for lunch, a beef curry.
Yep. And
beef curry, rice, and banana.
She chopped banana over the top.
What?
That is absolutely foul.
Banana. That makes it almost like a dessert.
It's not Sultana brand. One, is this person 3 years old?
No.
I'm not saying nothing.
Oh,
No.
If that person's still got a job, should not be in the decision-making role, is what I'm saying. That's very poor.
It's
So
okay.
no to banana on curry. Okay.
Well, how many years have you been having curry with Murray, Paul?
Funnily enough, we're having another one to later on this Arvo.
I know, I reckon you've been doing it for the better part of a decade, would that be fair?
Yes.
Have you ever seen a banana pulled out once?
All right.
I'm
Let's
out.
shut it down. Thank you very much. To all the punters out there, thank you very much. We'll be back next week to do it all again.